Okay, listeners, so get this. Scientists in China, they just built this magnet. It's 800,000 times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. Can you imagine? We're talking like really strong magnets here.
It's true, and it's got everyone in the scientific community pretty excited. This isn't just like a small step forward. This is something that could totally change multiple fields.
I'm hooked already. So tell me, what makes this magnet so special?
Well, this magnet, they hit a field strength of 45.22 Tesla. And that's a new world record, at least for a resistive magnet. I mean, it even briefly beat out that massive one, the 41.4 Tesla one they built in Florida a few years back.
It's like a magnet smackdown. But hold on,
Ah.
let's back up a sec. What exactly is a resistive magnet? What makes it different?
So when we're talking about these crazy strong magnets,
Yeah.
there are basically three main types: resistive, superconducting, and then hybrid. Resistive magnets, like the one in the news, they're like the trusty old pickup truck of the magnet world, been around forever. They work by running electricity through coils of metal wire. Usually it's copper.
Sounds pretty straightforward. So what's the catch?
Heat. It generates a ton of heat. I mean, think about it. To make a magnetic field that strong, it takes a huge amount of energy. It's like holding a tiny sun. This heat problem, it's actually one of the biggest things holding resistive magnets back.
So super powerful but runs hot. Gotcha. But I still don't get it. Why does having a stronger magnet matter so much? What can you actually do with it?
This is where it gets really cool. Think of a stronger magnet like a much more powerful microscope for scientists. It lets us see things, understand things in a way that we just couldn't before.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued. Give me an example. Like, what could we actually do with this thing?
Let's take medical imaging. With stronger magnets, you could build MRI machines that are insanely sensitive. Doctors could spot tiny tumors, catch diseases like cancer way earlier.
Wow, that would be incredible. And this new magnet, it could actually help make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But it goes way beyond just medical stuff. Think about chemistry. Stronger magnetic fields let us mess with and study chemical reactions at a whole new level. Who knows what new materials or medicines we could discover?
We're talking about like unlocking the secrets of atoms here, right?
Exactly. And there's more. This breakthrough also gets us closer to understanding one of the most mysterious things in physics: superconductivity.
Okay, superconductivity. Now we're talking really sci-fi stuff. You've mentioned it before, but I gotta be honest, I still don't really get what it is.
Yeah, we definitely need to unpack that one a bit more. Basically, superconductivity is when certain materials can conduct electricity, but with absolutely zero resistance. It's like those electrons are running a sprint on a frictionless track.
Zero resistance. That sounds straight out of a movie.
It might sound like science fiction, but I promise you it's a real thing. And if we can figure it out, it could change everything: how we get power, how we travel, even our phones and computers.
Okay, I am officially hooked, but how does this new magnet fit in with all this superconductivity stuff? What's the connection?
Imagine like a world where we can just, send electricity across a whole country and almost none of it gets lost along the way.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing this new magnet could help us figure out. It's like having, a much brighter flashlight to see what we're doing in the lab.
So we can use this magnet to, like, shine a light on superconductivity, see how it really works.
Exactly.
Okay, so stronger magnets help us unlock this superconductivity thing. Got it. But, like, paint me a picture here. What does that future actually look like? I mean, we talking flying cars? Teleportation?
Uh-huh, not quite. But hey, levitating trains, those are definitely a possibility.
No way. Seriously.
Yeah, for real. But it's even bigger than that. Think about it, power lines that don't lose any energy as they're carrying electricity across, entire continents. No more wasting all that energy as heat.
That would be, that would be huge, especially with everyone worried about clean energy and everything.
Exactly. And it's not just like giant power plants either. Think about your phone or your laptop. What if those never got hot again?
Okay, now that would be life-changing.
Right. We could have computers and phones that are way faster and more efficient. It's like a whole new generation of electronics.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. But hold on, I feel like we got a little sidetracked with all this superconductivity stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that there are other types of strong magnets, right? We talked about resistive magnets. But what about the other two?
Right. So besides the resistive ones, there are also superconducting magnets and then hybrid magnets.
Okay, and what makes those different?
Well, superconducting magnets, you can probably guess how those work.
Mm.
They actually use superconductivity. They can get even stronger than resistive magnets, but there's always a but, right?
Uh-huh, right. There's always a catch.
Exactly. So to work, superconducting magnets need to be really, really cold. like close to absolute zero.
So it's like super powerful but high maintenance.
That's a good way to put it. And then you've got the hybrid magnets, which are basically a mashup of the other two types. They use both resistive and superconducting technologies.
So they're like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. They can be the key to making the absolute strongest and most efficient magnets we've ever seen.
This is incredible stuff. I mean, we started with fridge magnets, and now we're talking about things that could change the world. It's like we're on the edge of some crazy new technological era, and it's all thanks to magnets.
It really is amazing what we can do with magnets, isn't it? But, like any powerful technology, we have to think about the ethics, too.
Oh, right. What do you mean?
Well, for example, we have to make sure that everyone benefits from these advancements, not just a select few.
That's a really good point. It's not enough to just invent cool new things. We have to make sure they're used to make the world a better place for everyone.
Exactly. It's about using technology responsibly to solve global challenges, like finding new energy solutions and improving healthcare.
This deep dive has been, wow, it's really opened my eyes. It's like we just took a peek into the future, and it's all about magnets. Revolutionizing medicine, solving our energy problems. It's incredible. But before we get too carried away, I gotta ask, what are some of the challenges? It can't be all smooth sailing from here, right? You're right, you're right. It's easy to get caught up in all the cool stuff and forget that there's probably gonna be some bumps in the road. So what are some of the big challenges? What's standing in our way?
Well, for one thing, getting those super low temperatures we talked about, the ones you need for superconductivity,
Huh.
that's not easy, like at all.
Yeah, I bet. It's gotta be, what, crazy expensive to keep things that cold?
It takes a huge amount of energy, yeah.
Mm.
And it's one thing to do it in a lab, in a controlled environment, but to make it work for something like, I don't know, a power grid or a train system, that's a whole other story.
It's like, I don't even know, trying to keep an ice cube frozen in a volcano or something.
Pretty much. But scientists are working on some really clever solutions. One thing they're looking at is finding new materials, ones that can actually superconduct at warmer temperatures.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't need to keep things quite as cold.
Exactly. Now, that's still a long way off. I mean, we're talking about room temperature superconductivity here, which would be, well, that would be revolutionary, but, got to aim high.
Right. I mean, if we could figure that out, it would change, well, everything, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
It
It would
would
be
be.
huge, not just for energy, but for, pretty much every aspect of our lives.
Seems crazy. I mean, we're talking about magnets here. Who knew that something so, I don't know, ordinary could have such a huge impact on the future?
It really is incredible, isn't it? And this new discovery, the one from China, it just goes to show what we can accomplish when
Yeah.
we, put our minds together and push the limits of what we think is possible.
Totally. This whole deep dive has been amazing. Magnets, superconductivity, it's like mind-blowing stuff. But before we wrap up, I gotta ask, what's next? What are the big questions, the things that scientists are still trying to figure out?
Well, one of the big ones is, really understanding how superconductivity actually works, like at a fundamental level. But we can see it happen. We can even make it happen in a lab. But we don't totally understand what's going on down there with the electrons and everything.
So even with all our fancy technology and everything, there's still a lot we don't know.
Oh, absolutely. It's like we've just scratched the surface. And who knows what else is out there just waiting to be discovered.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, and a little bit humbling, too. But hey, listener, if all this talk about magnets and superconductivity has got you curious, don't stop here. Go out there, do some research, learn more about it. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big discovery. Until next time.
Keep exploring.